Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha with News Tonight, where we get you the day's biggest news and updates from across India and around the world. Our top story tonight: India has told Islamabad to reduce staff at the Pakistani High Commission in New Delhi by 50% in the next 7 days.
The Ministry of External Affairs summoned the Charge d'Affaires of Pakistan on Tuesday and informed him about India's decision. The MEA expressed concerns about the activities of High Commission officials that in recent days included acts of espionage and dealings with terrorist organizations. On May 31st, India expelled 2 Pakistan High Commission officials after they were caught spying. India also strongly protested against the abduction of 2 Indian High Commission officials at gunpoint and their severe ill treatment thereafter in Islamabad earlier this month. Besides asking Pakistan to reduce its High Commission staff, India is also reciprocally reducing its staff at the High Commission in Islamabad by 50%.
My colleague Akhilesh Suman now joins us live on News Tonight for more details on that story. Good evening, Akhilesh. This, of course, is a big step that India has taken. Take us through the reasons behind India downgrading its ties with Pakistan.
You know, staff strength of Pakistan's High Commission in India is 110, and India also maintains its staff strength in Islamabad at 110. But given the fact that Pakistanis have been found many times that they are indulged in anti-India activity by using the identity card of Pakistan's High Commission in India. If you remember, recently on 31st May, India sent back 2 Pakistani High Commission officials on the ground that they were found to be involved in anti-India activity. They have been found to foment hatred inside India, and they have also been found involved in cross-border terrorism and cross-border violence. And that is why India has decided to reduce their strength by 50% of Indian High Commission in Islamabad and Pakistan's High Commission in India. And this has to be implemented within 7 days.
All right, Akhilesh. Thank you for joining us with those details. Moving on, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar took part in the annual meeting of the Russia-India-China grouping on Tuesday. He called upon both the Russian and Chinese counterparts to support India's legitimate demand on global fora. And in line with the principle of not raising bilateral issues on multilateral forums, S. Jaishankar did not raise the recent border tensions with China.
Although the External Affairs Minister did not raise the recent border standoff with China, he did remind the Chinese Foreign Minister of India's assistance to Beijing in times of need. Dr. Jaishankar especially mentioned the medical help provided by Indian doctor Dr. Kotnis and others to Chinese people in 1938 during the Sino-Japan War. Dr. Kotnis was part of an Indian 5-doctor team that had gone there on the request of the then Chinese government.
If Indian personnel were conferred the Order of the Red Star, the medical mission led by Dr. Kotnis was a legend in China. So tomorrow, when our military contingent marches through the Red Square, it would be an affirmation of the difference that we made.
Dr. Jaishankar also dwelt upon India's help to China during the Second World War. He asserted that it was Indians who maintained the supply chain for the Chinese through the Himalayan hump and the Persian corridor. Dr. Jaishankar also spoke of India's glorious contribution to the World War II effort against Nazism and fascism.
Indian blood was shed at the battlefields of the world, from Tobruk, El Alamein and Monte Cassino to Singapore, Kohima and Borneo. We helped keep key supply chains open to both your countries, one through the Persian corridor and the other across the Himalayan hump.
The first virtual RIC meeting after the coronavirus pandemic was hosted by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Referring to the cooperation among members, Dr. Jaishankar called upon member countries to support India's demand for permanent membership of the UN Security Council.
The United Nations began with 50 members Today it has 193. Surely its decision making cannot continue to be in denial of this fact. We, the RIC countries, have been active participants in shaping the global agenda. It is India's hope that we will also now converge on the value of reformed multilateralism.
Praising the RIC's spirit of intervening in the global agenda, Dr. Jaishankar did not fail to criticize the duplicity of countries that do not follow international laws and norms. In recent times, both China and the US have faced charges of flouting global laws and conventions. The RIC meet is taking place at a time when Russia is commemorating the Allied forces' victory over Hitler's Nazi Germany in World War II. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is in Moscow to take part in the celebration along with troops from the Indian Army, Navy and the Air Force. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And at the RIC meeting, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that Russia supports India for a permanent membership of the UN Security Council.
Speaking about the India-China tensions, Lavrov said that India and China are efficient enough to take care of their bilateral issues. He said there are a host of mechanisms both at the military and diplomatic levels for the two countries to resolve their issues through talks. He said there is no need for any other country to mediate.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Tuesday met Deputy Prime Minister of Russia Yuri Ivanovich Borisov in Moscow. Borisov assured the Defence Minister that Russia will honour the existing defence contracts. After the meeting, Rajnath Singh said that Russia will also speed up efforts to supply defence equipment in less than the stipulated time. Rajnath Singh also held talks with Russian top officials on ways to strengthen the India-Russia defence and strategic partnership. Earlier, Rajnath Singh also paid tributes to Mahatma Gandhi by laying a wreath at his statue at the Indian Embassy in Moscow.
मॉस्को में मेरी विजिट कोविड पैंडेमिक के बाद इंडिया के किसी भी ऑफिशियल डेलीगेशन की पहली यह फॉरेन विजिट है। यह हमारी खास दोस्ती का एक यह प्रमाण है। मुझे डिप्टी प्राइम मिनिस्टर मिस्टर यूरी बोरिसोव के साथ हमारे डिफेंस रिलेशनशिप को रिव्यू करने की अपॉर्चुनिटी उनको मिली है और वो पैंडेमिक रिस्ट्रिक्शन के बावजूद होटल में मुझसे मिलने के लिए आए। इस सम्मान के लिए मैं उन्हें धन्यवाद देता हूँ। हमारी डिस्कशन काफी पॉजिटिव और प्रोडक्टिव रही है। मुझे भरोसा दिलाया गया है कि ऑनगोइंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स को मेंटेन किया जाएगा और न केवल मेंटेन किया जाएगा बल्कि उनको और तेजी से कम समय में पूरा भी किया जाएगा।
Back home, Army Chief General M.M. Narvane is on a two-day visit to Ladakh to review the on-ground situation after the violent face-off between Indian and Chinese troops in the Galwan Valley last week.
Soon after arriving in Leh, General Narvane reviewed the Army's overall combat readiness in the Ladakh region with the ground commanders. He also met and interacted with soldiers injured in the violent clashes with China on the 15th of June. General Narvane also reviewed the progress in talks with the Chinese troops. The Indian and Chinese armies have arrived at a mutual consensus to disengage from all friction points in eastern Ladakh. This decision was taken at a nearly 11-hour meeting between senior Indian and Chinese commanders in Moldo on the Chinese side of the line of actual control late on Monday. According to sources, the talks on the 22nd of June were held in a cordial, positive and constructive atmosphere, and it was decided that modalities for disengagement from all areas in eastern Ladakh will be taken forward by both sides. In the next couple of weeks, ground commanders will hold a series of meetings to finalize the detailed framework of disengagement. In the marathon meeting, the Indian delegation, led by 14 Corps Commander Lieutenant General Harinder Singh, strongly raised the premeditated assault by Chinese troops on Indian soldiers in the Galwan Valley. The Indian side also suggested bringing down the number of troops by both sides in their rare bases along the line of actual control. The first round of the Lieutenant General talks was held on 6th of June, during which both sides finalized an agreement to disengage gradually from all standoff points beginning with Galwan Valley. However, the situation along the border worsened following the Galwan Valley clashes on 15 June, in which both sides suffered casualties.
The 75th anniversary of the victory over Nazism in the Second World War is being celebrated on the 24th of June in Moscow. The celebration that falls on the 9th of May every year was postponed by Russia due to the coronavirus pandemic.
This year, the Victory Parade commemorates the Diamond Jubilee of the defeat of Nazi Germany in the Second World War in 1945 and the historic Moscow Victory Parade that year. The Victory Parade at the Moscow's Red Square honors the heroism and sacrifice made by Russians and others. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, who is in Russia, will attend the Victory Parade on Wednesday. A tri-service 75-member Indian military contingent is taking part in the Victory Parade along with the Russian contingent and other invited contingents. The Indian contingent is led by a major rank officer of the Sikh Light Infantry Regiment. The regiment has the proud distinction of earning 4 battle honours and 2 military crosses, among other gallantry awards in World War II. The Victory Parade in Moscow will display for the first time 20 items of the latest armoured and aviation equipment, including the Kurganets 25 infantry fighting vehicles and the latest S-300 V4 and S-350 air defence systems.
And let's now take a look at the COVID-19 situation in the country. Close to 15,000 new cases of coronavirus were reported for the second day in a row, taking the total number of cases in India to over 4,40,000.
With 14,933 people testing positive for coronavirus in a single day, India's COVID-19 infections increased to over 4.4 lakh on Tuesday, while the death toll rose to 14,011 with 312 new fatalities in the last 24 hours. The total cases include 1.78 lakh active cases and 2.48 lakh recoveries. At 56.38%, the recovery rate continues to improve. Maharashtra has the most infections with over 1.35 lakh cases, while Delhi has overtaken Tamil Nadu to become the second worst hit state with over 62,500 cases against Tamil Nadu's 62,000. In terms of death count, 6 states have reported 87% of all COVID-19 related deaths in India so far. Maharashtra now has reported 6,283 deaths. Delhi's death toll has risen to 2,233. Gujarat is third in the list with 1,684 deaths, followed by Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. The death count in India has nearly doubled in the last 16 days. The number of infections is now twice what it was 19 days ago. However, according to the latest WHO report, India has one of the lowest deaths per lakh population. India is recording 1 death per lakh population as against the global average of 6.04. The United Kingdom has witnessed 63.13 cases of COVID-19 related deaths per lakh population, while Spain, Italy and the US have reported 60.60, 57.19 and 36.30 respectively. With testing in India ramped up, infection is likely to keep increasing in the coming days. The Indian Council of Medical Research has conducted over 71 lakh COVID-19 tests across the country, including 1.87 lakh tests yesterday. To contain and measure the spread of the novel coronavirus, testing remains the single most important factor because everything else about the disease depends on it. States like Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh have steadily ramped it up by testing 10,000 and 20,000 samples every day. By testing 10,000 to 20,000 samples every day. Experts have called for more testing as the test positivity rate in India is now rising. TPR is the percentage of tests that are turning out to be positive for novel coronavirus. If the rate is too high, it indicates that only the sickest are being tested and a large number of the population could be missing out. For example, TPR in Telangana increased by 100% in over 1.5 months, indicating a higher prevalence of COVID-19. Test positivity rate in the state was around 5.2% on April 28th. That increased to 12.9% on June 1st. In the last 3 days, the state has tested more than 3,000 samples every day. In comparison, the state had tested only 44,431 samples till June 16th. Cases are likely to rise exponentially as Telangana has finally ramped up testing. The state has discovered almost 3,500 cases in the last 1 week, which is more than 40% of its entire caseload till now. In May, the Telangana High Court had pulled up the state government over low testing rates. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India has allowed life, general and health insurers to offer coronavirus-specific short-term health insurance policies.
These short-term policies will offer insurance for a period between 3 to 11 months. These policies can be offered both as individual and group products. In a circular issued on June 23rd, the IRDAI issued guidelines for introduction of policies providing coverage for COVID-19 disease. These guidelines will remain valid for issue of short-term policy till March 31st, 2021 unless extended further.
The government on Tuesday allocated 3,000 crore rupees from the PM CARES Fund for the supply of ventilators and also for the welfare of migrant workers.
2,000 crore rupees under the Prime Minister's Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situations Fund is earmarked to supply 50,000 Made in India ventilators to government-run COVID-19 hospitals in all states and union territories. So far, 2,923 ventilators have been manufactured. 1,340 have been delivered to the states and union territories. Prominent recipient states include Maharashtra, Delhi, Gujarat, Bihar, Karnataka and Rajasthan. By June end, 14,000 more ventilators are expected to be delivered to all states and union territories. In addition to this, 1,000 crore rupees has been released to states and union territories for the welfare of migrant laborers. The distribution is according to a formula that gives 50% weightage for population as per 2011 census, 40% for the number of positive COVID-19 cases, and 10% for equal distribution among all states and union territories. The assistance is for arranging accommodation, food, medical treatment and transportation of recipients. The main recipients of the grant are Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Delhi, West Bengal, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Karnataka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had set up the PM CARES Fund in March, where everyone can contribute to help the government fight against coronavirus.
In a bid to make India self-reliant, the government's procurement portal, Government e-Marketplace, GEM, has made it mandatory for sellers to mention the country of origin on products that they wish to sell through the platform.
It is now mandatory for sellers to enter the country of origin while registering all new products on GEM. Further, sellers who have already uploaded their products before the introduction of this new feature on GEM are being reminded regularly to update the country of origin with a warning that their products shall be removed from GEM if they fail to update the same. The Government e-Marketplace has also enabled a provision for indication of the percentage of local content in products. With this new feature, now the country of origin as well as the local content percentage will be visible in the marketplace for all items. The Make in India filter has also been enabled on the portal. Buyers can choose to buy only those products that meet the minimum 50% local content criteria. The move will encourage domestic producers, sellers and buyers and promote the government's Make in India initiative.
Every country has supported local manufacturing and investment through government procurement. So India is no different. India is trying to do the same thing. And that is why we have implemented this on the portal, because how else do you take the local content? First of all, you have to find out whether the product, the origin of the product is outside India or within India. If he says outside India, then we capture the country of origin. If he says the product is from India, then we ask the local content.
The World Health Organization says the COVID-19 pandemic is worsening. It is urging countries to continue efforts to contain the spread of this deadly disease.
On Monday, global COVID-19 infections crossed 9 million. 1,83,000 new cases were detected in the last 24 hours, marking the biggest single-day spike so far.
It seems that almost every day we reach a new and grim record. Yesterday, more than 183,000 new cases of COVID were reported to WHO, easily the most in a single day so far.
WHO's emergency chief, Dr. Michael Ryan, warned that increase in cases reflect a change in the global activity of the virus. The first 41 novel coronavirus cases were confirmed in Wuhan on 10th of January. On 1st of April, nearly 3 months later, the count reached 1 million across the world. Since then, 1 million new cases were reported every 2 weeks. Since 16th of May, the cases doubled and cases globally crossed 5 million till 20th of May. By 31st of May, the virus had infected over 6 million people. But just in the past 7 days alone, over 1 million new cases have been recorded. However, countries worldwide are gradually reopening societies. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson allowed reopening of pubs, restaurants, hairdressers, museums and cinemas from 4th of July. Italy started a new trail of musical performances by the lake with social distancing. Italian musicians performed from fishing boats to audiences along the shoreline of Lake Trasimeno. France eased restrictions further, allowing schools to reopen from Monday. All French children under 15 years are allowed to return to school.
I'm very happy and relieved because, I take care of the kids for 3 months and I try to do homeschooling every day, but it's very long and so I'm happy for them and I'm a bit happy for me too to have free times again.
In Spain, more people returned to work on Tuesday as emergency was ended, allowing people to travel outside their province and to other European countries. Children's playgrounds, sports grounds have also reopened. New York City has entered phase 2 of the reopening with restaurants and bars offering outdoor service. Barber shops, hair salons and playgrounds were also allowed to reopen. Meanwhile, several countries including China, South Korea and Germany have reported a new cluster of cases over the week. China has ramped up mass testing. 2.34 million people in Beijing were tested in the last 10 days. On Tuesday, South Korea reported 46 new cases, including 6 from Seoul. Seoul mayor has warned that the city could soon see hundreds of coronavirus cases a day if the infection continued to increase at the present rate. Germany also reimposed lockdown after a virus outbreak at a meat plant in North Rhine-Westphalia till 30th of June.
The historic Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath commenced on Tuesday in Odisha's pilgrim town of Puri.
This comes a day after the Supreme Court modified its order suspending the massive event this year and allowed the rituals and festivities with certain precautions and conditions. This is the first time that the yatra is taking place without devotees. As instructed by the top court, each chariot was pulled by not more than 500 people and there was an interval of 1 hour between the pulling of the chariots. Those involved in the chariot pulling had to take a COVID test as mandated by the top court and maintained social distancing. Earlier, the temple complex was sanitized before the rituals began. Several customary rituals like the Mangal Aarti and the Mailam were held before the deities set out from the sanctum sanctorum of the temple. The chariots of Lord Jagannath, Lord Balbhadra and Goddess Subhadra are brought out of the temple every year. This takes place in the month of Ashad, the 3rd month of the Hindu calendar. The 9-day festivities celebrate the annual journey of Lord Jagannath and his 2 siblings Balbhadra and Subhadra to their aunt's place at the Gundicha temple around 2.5 kilometers away. More than 50 platoons of the Odisha police force have been deployed and CCTVs installed at various locations as part of the security arrangement. The state government has imposed curfew in the city of Puri on all the days and during the entire time the chariots are taken out for the procession. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday greeted people on the occasion of the Lord Jagannath Yatra, hoping that it brings good health and prosperity. My heartiest greetings on the auspicious occasion of Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra, the Prime Minister tweeted. He wished that the occasion brings happiness, prosperity, good luck and health to the lives of all people. Union Home Minister Amit Shah also conveyed his greetings to the people on the occasion.
In some weather news, the southwest monsoon is moving northwards and is expected to reach North India, including Delhi NCR, in the next 24 hours.
Monsoon is expected to reach Haryana, Punjab, Delhi and Chandigarh in the next 48 hours. According to the Meteorological Department, heavy to very heavy rainfall may occur in many areas of Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand for the next 4 to 5 days. Meanwhile, heavy rains are also expected in northeast India for the next 5 days. IMD has issued orange alerts in West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam and Meghalaya for June 24th to June 27th.
Political leaders on Tuesday paid homage to Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee on his 67th death anniversary.
Paying tribute to Mukherjee, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu remembered S.P. Mukherjee as an accomplished barrister, educationist and a true patriot. The Vice President said his long and impeccable record of public service will continue to inspire everyone. Prime Minister Modi remembered Mukherjee as a great son of India. BJP President JP Nadda also paid homage to Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. He said, people are inspired by Mukherjee's exceptional contribution and service to the nation. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was the inspiration behind abolishing Section 370 and Article 35A for the development of Jammu and Kashmir.
Well, so that's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you for your time. Take care of yourselves and your families.